Good morning. Today's Tim's challenge is the Garry Dibley LG EGO. Now, this is a nice little mod made by Garry Dibley. There's really not much to say about it really. There's an on-off switch, master on-off switch at the end, and a switch at the side. I'm going to vape this for the next 24 hours. Using a 306 low resistance cartomizer, and let's see how we go. Stay tuned. Well, it's smoke break time, and I'm still using the Garry Dibley. With the 306 on it, getting good flavour. There's not a lot of oomph though. I've got an 18500 battery in there for extended vaping. I'll also take a 14500. It's not knocking my socks off at the moment. The battery's fairly fresh. I've not really vaped that heavily this morning, so I'll have to see where it's going. But at the moment, my palate's getting a bit in need of something with a bit more power. Now, the last challenge I used a 3.7 volt mod, and that was fine. So it's not really the voltage that's the issue, I don't think. The last one was the integrity. So we'll just see how this goes. I mean, it is nice. It's nice mod and everything. It feels nice. It's got a nice button position. And the flavour of the 306 cartomizer, frankly, it's gorgeous. To me, it tastes like an 801. So we'll see how we go. We'll persevere. See how it goes. See you later. Hi, well, it's lunchtime, and I'm still using the Garry Dibley LG EGO. It's going okay. I'm debating whether part of the problem I'm having with it at the moment, because it's not giving me any oomph at all. But I'm starting to think that maybe that might be because of the 306 low resistance cartomizer that I'm using. So when I get back into the office, I'm going to switch the cartomizer over for a 510 low resistance cartomizer and see if that makes a difference as far as the vapour production and the actual throat hit, everything else is concerned. At the moment, it's not really hitting the spot. I think I'll stick in a fresh battery as well. I've got a spare 18500 battery upstairs, so I'll try that and see if I have any better luck. If not, I'm going to struggle to keep this going for 24 hours, to be honest with you. It's just not hitting the spot, as I said. It could just be that these batteries, being new, have got perhaps they tail off quite quickly. If that happens with the second battery, then at least I'll be able to know that I'll know that, and it's not basically not the mod's fault. But we'll just have to see how I go. Anyway, more later. Well, afternoon rest break. Still using the Garry Dibley. I changed the battery for another 18500, and I changed the cartonizer for a low resistance 510 cartonizer. Put the same juice in. It has a bit more oomph, but in all honesty it's still not brilliant. I'm thinking it's probably the batteries more than the mod though. This is a fresh battery, and after 15 minutes of use I can already pick up some tail off on the battery. Now that's probably just because the batteries are new. They're Ultrafire 18500s. They're 1600 milliamp hours, brand new, and that's probably the problem. They've not gone through a few cycles of charge and discharge. That said, the mod's performing okay. It's not performing as well as other 3.5, 3.7 volt mods that I've used recently. So it's still not quite giving me what I need. But it's working perfectly well, and no doubt for others it'd be perfect. I think later I might try a clearomizer tank on it. I find that when a mod isn't giving me the full 3.7 volts, that sometimes it suits better for my power anyway to use a clearomizer tank, because it's a slightly lower voltage. I find clearomizer tanks otherwise a bit too harsh, a bit too much of a throat ripper. So I may try that later. I may not. So watch this space, and we'll just see how it goes. But for now, I'm enjoying the juice I've got in. I'll talk more about the juice in another review that I'll be doing shortly. I'll do another review today. There's something special about the juice that I'm not vaping today, but I'll discuss that more later. Alright, for the moment, I'll leave it there. Okay, speak later. Well, it's the end of the working day. I did have one more rest stop about an hour or so ago. Unfortunately I couldn't do any filming because the shelter where everybody smokes, us vapors are also confined to. There were people there, and I didn't want to be answering too many questions. Confession time. Sadly, I used a different mod. I used a 5 volt mod that I've got. There's just too much of a tail off. I've really barely used the LG EGO with the new battery in. I've used it for about 20 minutes, and there's a significant drop off now. I still think it's the battery that's causing that, but it's enough for it to be an unsatisfying vape, and I'm getting nowhere with it. I briefly put on a clearomizer tank. I just was barely giving off any vapor at all, so I didn't continue with that. So yeah. What I think I'll need to do at some point is to review these 18500 batteries, recharge them, see if we're getting a satisfying vape. But one thing I have noticed, and with the LG EGO, because it's using an EGO atomizer connector and the original switch, I'm finding that when I press the switch and let go, it's actually still firing for a second or two afterwards. I'll show you quickly. Now, the switch will light up blue when it's fired, but when I fire that, it's still lit, and it still runs for a half second or so afterwards. I don't know if you can hear that. So it's still it's firing, but when I take my finger off a switch, I expect it to stop firing at that moment in time. Don't expect it to continue firing for half a second or whatever. The way I vape usually is I'll take my finger off a little while before I take it away from my mouth, so that I pull out all of the vapour. Now, following that process, actually not, and condensation will become an issue inside the cartomizer. So I'm not particularly happy with that, but I think that's a side effect of it using EGO type components, at least for the switch. It could just be that there's a fade circuit in the switch for the LED, and because that's keeping a current going through it, that actually keeps the atomizer firing for that duration while the switch fades out. Either way, I'm not best pleased with that. But that's just me. Some other people, they won't bother them at all. And in all honesty, it was something that I did not pay attention to at all until a couple of hours ago, really, when I spotted it, and then I thought, well, yeah, this is not quite right. Anyway, I will try to continue with the LG EGO. I mean, it is a nicely built mod, and Garry Dibley has got a worthy reputation in the community, so I will endeavour to continue. It's just that I had to confess that I cheated and used another mod for a little while. Don't hold it against me. Okay, more later. Bye for now.